In a tense public confrontation on Tuesday, Nyesom Wike, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, and officials from the Federal Capital Territory Administration were blocked by armed military personnel from entering a parcel of land in the Gaduwa district of the capital. The military personnel insisted that they were acting on orders from a former chief of naval staff, while the minister argues that no formal allocation documents for the land had been presented by the military officers. Wike sharply rebuked the military personnel for their conduct, noting that intimidation of government officials with guns was unacceptable. The officers, on their part, insist they were simply following instructions from above to guard or occupy the land.
Government order. He has no power. Former. Okay, can I tell something?
Sir, let me request to enlighten you. Sir, there is no such thing as a former vice admiral.
Okay, thank you very much.
Vice admiral is vice admiral.
It's not an officer now. He's not serving the government. Even if he's serving in government, this government property. Show me the document you have. You have no document.
Sir, what documents?
Bring the document.
You have documents and everything has been submitted, sir.
Excuse me, I'm the minister.
Yes, sir.
You cannot tell me. You cannot tell me that. We cannot continue to act in this impunity. Where the approval even to build. You cannot continue this way. This country cannot continue along this line. How can that man at his level, even if he has a problem, he cannot reach me and say, look, I'm sorry, see what I have. You will send soldiers to intimidate who? We are all from this country. And this is government. You cannot be higher than any government. You cannot be carrying gun to intimidate people to not to do their work. Let me tell you, if not going to chief of defense staff who spoke to me now, you could have killed everybody here. No problem. I'm not one of those that they can intimidate. I'm doing my job.
We are not intimidating anybody.
That's what you're doing.
The civilian, the engineer mobilized to sites, and then staff or workers of FCDA, yes, look at this, to intimidate them.
No, listen now.
That is the problem. Them. And that was when the admiral gave the order.
He cannot give order against government.
Because the papers are complete and he said it's submitted.
Are you the one, listen, you know the problem you have? Are you the one that will say, paper, which show me that you are, first of all, show me that government gave you this place. Two, show me that you have an approval to build what you are building. It has nothing to do with, I'm a vice admiral, I'm a lieutenant general. That is not it. We must work according to law. We must work according to law.
We forwarded everything to me.
And to who?
No, don't tell like this. Don't tell like this.
Don't you try it.
I said it. Don't try it. Don't try it. Don't tell me this. Keep quiet.
Don't tell me I'm lying.
I'm more than quiet. I'm more than quiet. I'm more than you. Look at you. Don't intimidate me. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? I am eminent. I'm eminent. So what? I'm so what?
I'm a small boy, but the commission I'm carrying.
I don't know what I You cannot say this government. You don't get the document. You don't have documents. The man took that. We will not allow because he was chief of naval and then you to carry land.
Sir, everything was acquired legally.
Will you stop
you
that?
get the
Will you stop that?
Sir, I'm an officer, I have integrity.
Shut up, your mouth, good officer.
I will not shut up.
Will you get out?
Sir, I won't shut up. Sir, I'm a
I was in
officer.
school, you're not in school.
Sir, you can't shut
Will
me
you keep quiet?
can't
If you're a
shut me
big
up, sir.
fool,
I'm not
you're a
a
big fool.
I'm not a fool,
You
sir.
can shoot anybody like that.
Sir, I'm not
You're
a fool.
Who are you?
I am not a fool, sir.
And for the time I graduated, you were in primary school.
I'm acting on orders.
Take for which
You can't
order?
call me a fool.
And this, you will say what else you love here.
Sir, you can't call me a fool.
Go
I'm
and develop your
an officer. I'm not a fool, sir. I'm an officer.
No, you would have killed everybody here.
No, we won't kill anybody. We won't kill anybody. We are acting on orders.
Go and develop. Go and develop your let me see you.
Regular officer, you want to come and
We are going to get out.
Viewers, listen very well because this story is one that is shaking both the military and political circles in Nigeria. The confrontation between the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, and the young military officer, Lieutenant A.M. Yerima, has sparked one of the biggest debates we've seen in recent times, one that cuts across politics, law, and even national security. Before I continue, please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of these real-time updates. Now, let's break it down step by step because this gist is deeper than what many people think. It all started when the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, visited a disputed parcel of land in Abuja. According to reports, that land was allegedly linked to a former Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo. When Wike arrived at the site, he met naval officers on ground, led by Lieutenant A.M. Yerima. What happened next became the spark of this national conversation. The young officer reportedly stood his ground, insisting that the land was protected property and that he was under orders not to allow anyone access, not even the minister himself. Viewers, imagine that scene. A federal minister representing the president in the capital city trying to access land and a military officer telling him, "No, sir." Cameras were rolling, words were exchanged, tempers flared, and by the next morning, the entire country was buzzing. Some said Yerima was a hero who stood up to political impunity. Others said his action was a dangerous sign of military overreach, a reminder of Nigeria's dark past with the rule of the gun. Please, before we go further, click that like button if you're following the gist, because what comes next will shock you even more. In a surprising twist, the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru, stepped into the matter. Rather than condemning the young officer, he defended him publicly. Yes, you heard that right. The Minister of Defense actually said that the government and the military high command would protect any officer carrying out lawful duties. In his words, "We will not allow anything to happen to him as long as he is doing his job and doing it well." That statement changed the tone of the entire conversation. It gave legitimacy to Yerima's actions and raised serious questions about where the line is drawn between civil authority and military discipline. Now, let's pause for a moment and ask a question. What does this really mean? Is the defense minister saying that a junior officer can openly challenge a federal minister and be protected as long as he claims to be acting on orders? Or is he simply saying that military personnel deserve protection when carrying out lawful assignments? Viewers, what do you think? Drop your opinions in the comments section. As the story spread, human rights lawyer and activist Dele Farotimi released a statement that quickly went viral. He didn't mince words. He said Nigerians are so angry with their politicians that they will cheer for anyone who humiliates them, even if that act itself breaks the law. Farotimi wrote, "Nigerians will applaud anyone and anything that discomfits their oppressors. They applauded Trump, and now they applaud Yerima's regimented impunity as an antidote to Wike's madness." Strong words there, viewers. Farotimi's point was that while Wike may not be popular because of his alleged arrogance and history of land disputes, the law is still the law. He warned that allowing soldiers to take sides in civil disputes was extremely dangerous. He asked, "What is the role of the courts? If Wike, Yerima, and whoever gave that order were truly under the rule of law, would a naval officer be deployed to secure a private land in dispute?" Viewers, that question cut right to the heart of this matter. Nigeria is supposed to operate under civilian authority. The Constitution gives ministers and governors administrative powers, not soldiers. But when you bring in the military to protect property or interfere in land issues, it begins to blur the line between lawful duty and abuse of power. Please like this video if you believe in the rule of law, because that is what is really at stake here. Meanwhile, another strong voice entered the conversation. Asari Dokubo, the former Niger Delta militant, leader known for always speaking his mind. He released a video on Facebook where he condemned the officer's action. According to him, Yerima should have been court-martialed immediately. He said, "I'm not taking sides with Wike, I'm taking sides with the law. In any sane society, that officer would have been reprimanded and detained. The minister of FCT is like the governor of Abuja."
Constitutionally, he is the chief security officer of the city. After the president, no soldier has the right to confront him publicly. Dokubo went further to say that even though he personally doesn't always agree with Wike, the confrontation crossed the line. He warned that if military officers begin to challenge civilian authorities openly, it could set a bad precedent that threatens democracy itself. And viewers, this is not something to take lightly. Nigeria has experienced coups before, and every coup started with soldiers feeling they could question or overrule civilian authority. But as usual, Nigerians are divided. On social media, some people are hailing Yerima as a brave young man who refused to bow to political intimidation. Others see him as a reckless officer who embarrassed the Nigerian armed forces by acting outside his role. Some even believe Wike's approach to the land issue provokes the standoff. Let's not forget that the minister himself has been accused several times of land grabbing, reallocating plots to close associates, and bulldozing properties he claims were built illegally. So, to some Nigerians, this incident was karma catching up with him. But still, viewers, let's think carefully. Should a military officer act on the orders of a retired superior to defend land in dispute? Shouldn't that be a matter for the courts, not the Navy? Lieutenant Yerima reportedly said he was acting on the instructions of former Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, who allegedly claims ownership of the land. If that is true, then the entire military command may have to answer tough questions. Was the Navy formally assigned to protect that property, or was Yerima acting under personal loyalty? These are the key questions Nigerians are asking. And just when the debate seemed to settle a bit, another perspective came from a lawyer, Akinyemi Rackman, who wrote on X, formerly Twitter. He said, "Don't be fooled into applauding the spectacle just because you dislike a politician. Using the armed forces to stop public officials from doing their jobs is dangerous. This isn't heroism, it's an abuse of force."
Viewers, that is another strong point. He warned that if Nigerians cheer for soldiers confronting ministers today, tomorrow those same soldiers could confront ordinary citizens. Let's be honest. Nigeria has a history of blurred lines between military and civil power. Since the return to democracy in 1999, the military has tried to maintain professionalism, but political interference and personal loyalties sometimes pull them back into civilian matters. What we saw between Wike and Yerima is not just about land. It's about the soul of Nigeria's democracy. Will the armed forces remain under civilian authority, or will they start taking orders from private individuals with influence? Now, viewers, let's look at the other side too, because every story has two faces. Some people say Yerima should actually be praised. Their argument: if the land truly belongs to a retired naval chief and Wike was trying to take it forcibly, then the officer was only protecting government property or following instructions. They claim Wike's style is too aggressive and that he has a reputation for using power without restraint. So for these people, Yerima's defiance was a symbolic stand against impunity. But again, the real issue here isn't whether Wike is right or wrong. It's whether Yerima acted lawfully. Please, if you're following the gist, click that like button right now. It encourages me to keep bringing you balanced analysis like this. Let's move to the bigger implications. Politically, this confrontation puts the Tinubu administration in a tight corner. Both the defense minister and the FCT minister are members of the same cabinet. If the defense ministry openly backs the officer, it might look like Tinubu's team is divided, or that the president himself is tolerating disobedience to civilian authority. That could send the wrong message both at home and abroad. Socially, It has reignited the debate about respect for institutions. Should the military act as law enforcement over property disputes, or should they stay focused on national defense and internal security? Economically, there's also an angle. Abuja's land ownership system has been plagued with controversies for decades. Investors and developers need to feel that land transactions are transparent and protected by law. But when military officers start getting involved in land tussles, it scares away investment. Who would want to buy property if a uniformed officer can show up one day and claim it's military land? Humanly, let's not forget Lieutenant Yerima.
This young man is now at the center of a political storm far beyond his rank. Whether he acted on lawful orders or not, his career is now under public scrutiny. If he's punished, it might discourage officers from following lawful instructions. If he's protected, it might embolden others to act without considering the chain of command. And viewers, this brings us to the big question. Where do we draw the line between courage and insubordination? Should we applaud a soldier who challenges power, or should we be worried about the message it sends to our democracy? Please share your thoughts in the comment section, because this one affects all of us. As things stand, investigations are ongoing. The Ministry of Defense says it will look into the issue, and the FTT administration insists it will continue enforcing its land use laws. But one thing is clear. This confrontation has opened a new chapter in the discussion about power, law, and discipline in Nigeria. So, viewers, as we wrap up today's gist, here are the main takeaways. 1. The clash between Wike and Lieutenant Yerima is not just about land. It's a battle between civil authority and military order. 2. The defense minister's defense of Yerima has sparked mixed reactions. 3. Activists like Delifa Rotimi and Asari Dokubo warn that this act threatens the rule of law. 4. Lawyers are cautioning against celebrating what could be a dangerous precedent. 5. Nigerians must insist that disputes are resolved through the courts, not through confrontation. Viewers, what do you think? Was Yerima right to stand his ground, or did he cross the line by challenging a serving minister? And do you think Wike, with his controversial record, provoked the situation? Drop your answers in the comment section. Please like this video, share it, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss updates as this story develops. Because one thing is certain, this matter is not ending anytime soon.